Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back into the Buster Show podcast and happy birthday to our guest, Steve Aoki. Welcome to the show, my friend, and happy birthday.
Thank you. Thank you so much. It's time flies, man. Time really does fly. It's crazy how fast it is that we get to where we are in our lives. But I'm happy. Reflecting a lot today.
I think you've used that time just about as well as anybody in performing history. So there's a lot to feel
Yes.
good about.
Yeah. Yeah. But yeah, there's so many more years that I want to have a very healthy, active life. That's like what I've been thinking about in the
Yeah.
last, I'd say in the last 10 years. Last 10 years, I made major efforts and strides in really understanding my body, my mind, my spirit, and how to really optimize it as efficiently as possible.
So you do perform so much all around the world. You're constantly traveling. How do you keep good energy and stay on top of things so that you can, put out your best effort during the
You know,
sets?
what when you're like doing this at when you're like younger and you're doing this, you could literally pound your body to the pavement and it rebounds. I mean, like when you're younger, your cells are just they're just like more, they just heal faster. You just recover like a superhero. But obviously as you get older, things start aching, things start creaking. And I'm still playing and performing at the same level that I was when I was in my 20s and 30s, early 30s. So, um, like now it's just that wear and tear of repetition. You have to be mindful of that. It's just like, for example, I had surgery on my shoulder, um, because because I'm caking people, right? People don't realize it's very similar to like a pitcher's injury. I had the same kind of rotator cuff injury that's
Oh,
what pitchers usually get. But pitchers usually don't get it. Professionals don't get it because they warm up, and I never warmed up.
right, because
I
you're
never
doing
stopped to
it in
warm
the
up.
middle or end of sets.
Yeah, well, I just don't think about like warming up my arm before I go play a show. It's just, I'm playing a show. I'm just. So I once I started thinking of myself as an athlete, then things really started to change where I started thinking more about longevity, more about stamina, more about endurance and health management and body management and muscle management and just ever like all things management. Like I didn't like I ran ragged for like the first 10, and then now in my this bracket of 10 years, it's been a major difference and change, and it's allowed me to be 100% at my shows. So
Makes sense.
it's always about figuring out the life hacks, and I think for the most part most people always have to, it takes time to get there. You don't just like you just become an athlete and then you learn all the tricks. Like you have to go, oh, okay, that doesn't work. And after years and years of experience, I figured it out.
You built those habits too. That's
Yeah.
sharp though. I think it's a probably sage advice that everyone should treat themselves like an athlete in terms of aiming for longevity. And you sound now like the LeBron James of DJing.
Yeah, I'm definitely, I mean, the thing is that I could easily just play and just stand there. You know,
But
I can't help myself. I
yeah,
have to, I like the music moves me, so like I love, and I'm an entertainer. I'm not just a DJ. Like I love to entertain. I
yeah,
want to engage. I want to connect with as many people in not in a midway. Like I am fearful of mid. Like
yeah.
I hate mid.
Yeah.
I hate mid. So for me, it's like I need to be like I want to at least hope to be extraordinary as you know, in my mind, like, can I get there? And if I can get there, and then people are like, oh my God, that was a fucking crazy show.
Yeah,
Like
I
my best
feel
friend
it.
got kicked in the face. This happened. You know what I mean? Like that's the kind of reaction that I want them, want my fans or people that come see my show to feel. And I hate mid. I just can't stand it. So I can't just like I can't help myself. I'm always like, revving myself up to be like, fuck, we're gonna fucking power through this shit. We're gonna really like provide that experience, that like over the top experience, you know?
That energy is what creates those lifelong memories, which is what any entertainer is shooting for, right? It's amazing.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah, absolutely.
how with the cake throwing, how are you able to be so phenomenally accurate with your throws?
So that's just like, time and experience, you know. I've been caking the first cake would be I think is like we try to document it because there's a YouTube video of it like in May of 2011. So I mean, I've been caking for 13 years,
Yeah,
you
they
know,
say
like
what, 10,000
and
hours? You've hit your 10,000 cakes.
20,000 cakes.
20,000 cakes.
Well, I mean, I do 200 minimum 200 shows a year, 10 shows a 10 cakes a show.
Wow, that's a lot of cakes.
Yeah, so it's like somewhere between 20,000 and up. So it's I mean, he's get he's get good after doing it. There's no practicing, it's not like I have like a like I don't have a time to like throw cakes at a wall and hit a
Right,
target.
right. Clearly
I
there's no
think
warming up.
no, but you just figure it out over time.
So in the last few years, you dove all the way into collectibles. I don't know if you were in it before, like right around the beginning of 2020 or so, but what was the thing that got you in, and were you at all a collector, before these last couple of years?
Yeah, yeah. So, I mean, yeah, when I was a kid, I got into collecting cards. Like I think every kid, like, especially in America, it's like it's just part of growing up. I mean, I was so young. I was probably like fourth, fifth grade or something like that. Collect cards and trade cards, like different sports cards. But I only did it for a couple of years. But that definitely collecting cards and trading them definitely sparked something in me. Like that was the spark of me becoming a collector without even realizing it. Because later on in like my teen years, you collect things that you can afford, right? You're a kid. So for me at that time, I was like comic books were another thing that was fun to collect, and they were cheap. They're like $2, like so I would collect only Wolverine. Like I have like I would just every Wolverine issue came out, I would collect it. And I almost like after a while I stopped reading them. I was like, I just want to get the next issue. And then from there went to vinyl. And because I got so deep into music at like my tween years, like 14, 15, I dove headfirst into punk and hardcore. And part of the lifestyle of being a punk and hardcore kid is having a vinyl collection, like and it's almost like baseball cards. Like I would be like, yo, I got the limited pressing of the Gorilla Biscuits record. Like, ha, I got the yellow vinyl. You don't have the yellow vinyl. You have, it's really similar. It's a very similar kind of feeling, but
In recent years, vinyls have taken off, especially the iconic sealed ones.
exactly, exactly. So I got into vinyl and I've collected vinyl for, all the way to my till I graduated from college. And I remember through college I would like my friends would leave, like my older friends would graduate. They're like, I can't take this vinyl with me. It's just bulky. It's like a lot of vinyl. I'm like, give it to me. And soon, like literally five or six or seven different friends' collections. I was like, I'll take care of it. If you don't want it, I'll take care of it. If you want it back, I'll give it to you, whatever, like, and I have all these like, just like there's no, to me, it wasn't about financial value. It was more like I love, like, I just loved collecting certain things and a
Yeah.
lot of them. And then fast forward, you know, to COVID, And fast forward through my crazy life of just success through DJing and now having this house where, I moved to Vegas. This is before COVID. I moved to Vegas and I was like, I want to build my compound dream house. And it's really a collectibles house. It's like you walk into my house, there's like rare toys. There's a whole like I have a whole room of all my sneakers and shoes and rare, collaborations and all that fun stuff. I have a whole vinyl room. I have a whole book room. I have like everything is like sorted out and organized. It's a collectibles dream home,
That's
and
insane.
that's basically what I built. And during COVID, it was a perfect time to really sink my teeth into this home and go and just like sit in these rooms and go, fuck. Like I now it all makes sense to me. Like it all has a place. And and then, I met I'm really close with Dan Fleischman, who we started Cards and Coffee.
Yep.
He introduced me to Gary Vee, and he introduced me to a bunch of other card people like Josh Luber and Jason Coons and like this group, and they just onboarded me on into sports cards and I just became a fiend. I became like like you know a degenerate. I was just like buying millions and millions of dollars of cards in the course of a few years,
Wild.
and And then I was like, sports cards, like, okay, I'm doing all sports. I want all the goats. So I went after all the goats, baseball, Mickey Mantle, PSA 6, 52 tops to, on the basketball, got the LeBron PSA 10. I mean, I'm sorry, the Jordan PSA 10, 86 Fleer. I got all the other goats, I went through all the different sports and just like try to get like the goats of what I could, what was a goat for me. And then Pokemon was a next surge of interest. And I was like, I want to go for the grails of Pokemon. I was opening up these Pokemon boxes. I went in and spent $420,000 on an Illustrator
I mean, it's as good
card.
as it gets card wise.
Yeah, so I'm spending like six figures on cards at this point. This is a year into COVID, and I want the goats I want the biggest girls of Yu-Gi-Oh, the biggest girls of Magic, the the biggest girls of Dragon Ball. I was just going through every TCG, and then as a creator, I'm an artist. I'm like always creating, and whenever I go into an industry, I want to create. I want to be a part of the industry, not just a customer of the industry. So I was looking for different TCG companies during this time to partner with or to potentially start an IP with. And I was talking to a few of them. Um, I talked to Flesh and Blood. Like I was like, wow, what an incredible brand. Like I thought the IP was incredible and I love what they were doing. And it just felt like it was like Magic the Gathering world view of how you know that they were presenting their cards. And I thought it was really cool. Really great people that I talked to over there. And I talked to MetaZoo. I talked to Mike Waddell, and and uh, and then he told me his IP about cryptids and the world of cryptids and keeping them all in this universe and
Yeah.
building this universe together. And that just resonated to me immediately. I was like, this is more of a world that because I'm more if you choose if I was to be able to choose between Pokemon, the world of Pokemon, world of Magic, two massive worlds in the TCG space,
Yep.
I'm definitely more Pokemon. You know,
Makes
I
sense.
respect Magic, but I'm definitely more Pokemon, and I like how Pokemon built their IP and like the they're like it's like you got movies, TV shows. Magic is really game based. It's very strategy based. It's not really about like the movies and like the TV series and things like that. And like
Pokemon
the
hit the
other
Yep.
Pokemon is like you can build like so many verticals of business, and and it really touches so many people's hearts and minds. So I felt like MetaZoo had the same kind of trajectory, and then I partnered with Mike, became a co-founder of MetaZoo, and launched MetaZoo to scale to a larger audience, and and saw that business and saw that IP and the community grow in an extraordinary way. You know, like happy to say our gross revenue was like over $40 million in by the end of 2022. So
That's
as a
pretty
brand new
phenomenal
I
for a new property. Yeah,
it
usually
really is. It really is. And the community is so just they're so excited about, the new cryptids that we're introducing, and the whole world of MetaZoo is just very rich and abundant of like very, just very interested people. So that was really exciting to be a part of that. And all along that this 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 exciting journey into collectibles, into cards, because now cards became everything. Like before I was like toys and art and shoes and comics and vinyl and books and whatever. Now it's like 90% of what I care about is cards. Actually, 99%. Literally everything became cards.
love it.
NFTs is probably 10%, no, maybe 20%. So 80% was cards. Um, and then I'm writing my album. I'm producing my album, Hero Quest 1. And just figuring out how I want to build this IP, because whenever I think about my albums, I look at them as worlds. And previous to Hero Quest, I did Neon Future, and I did 4 albums under Neon Future and created this whole science tech music kind of conglomerate world that I ended up making a comic book with Tom Bilyeu, with the Neon Future concept. But I love being able to build a universe like we did with MetaZoo. And so Hero Quest became its own universe, and MetaZoo supported Hero Quest with cards for the first year. So last year we did the 2 different sets of cards, and they were both successful runs, and really really happy about that, and really loving the MetaZoo community for supporting Hero Quest. And now we're branching off on our own, and Hero Quest will have its own trading card set and own universe. Because it's not a cryptid, it doesn't necessarily make sense with the MetaZoo world of cryptids.
Yeah.
Hero Quest is a fantasy world, that that I came up with, and wrote a 260-page book for the past year. Like this year, I wrote a book with Jim Kruger that's going to be dropping in 2024 with the first card set.
Love it.
So I'm so excited about this. I'm like, we talked about this, like creating IP is like it's like this is like something that I love, 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 passionately love doing.
I'm so happy for you, man. And it's true, there isn't, you know, like growing up, everybody wants to, create their own worlds, and so few people get the chance to actually do that in
Yeah,
creating intellectual property that actually can be held in people's hands. And it's funny, I see a very direct correlation to the way that you're talking about the sealed vinyls and the vinyls that you're collecting growing up. Obviously over time, music has changed. Everything is digital now. So people don't get to hold music anymore. But through creating things like this, you can actually bring that back in what is a new way for collectors,
yeah,
which I think is really fun, and maybe an unintended, uh, you know, happening, because that aspect of it is very exciting to me, because usually uh, it's companies that are launching intellectual properties and not the
right,
actual artistic talent themselves. So
right,
that
right.
too makes this very interesting.
I think that's the thing with what happened with COVID is that, you know, there was there's a lot of brilliant ideas out there, but it takes a village to put it together. That's why these larger institutions can build these IPs, because they have the money, they have the backing, they can risk the exposure of loss. And
Right.
a MetaZoo launched because it was like a crowdsourcing Kickstarter startup. I mean, that's how it launched, because they were like, okay, we need the community to support us, because Mike Waddell was just him, and he got Kickstarter to support, and let the crowd sourcing ability to see it. If you believe in it, it will happen. And
Yeah,
that's I love that. Okay, I love that. And with Hero Quest, this is based on my music, right? So I'm that's where like this there's a different uh there's a different kind of point of where it starts because like for me, I'm I put my heart and soul, everything I got into my music, but I love collectibles. So now I can use my music as the platform, as the starting point to be able to launch something and really bridge between my fans in you know my global audience around the world and all the fun stuff we're going to be doing with that, you know, and and the whole collectible card community, which is you know is also massive. So you have like two different worlds, and finding this fun bridge between them is actually the most exciting part of all this, you know,
totally.
connecting.
I mean, you know this as well as anybody. You know, you compare specific moments and connecting in-person events to iconic collectibles. Nobody did it, you know, really before mid to late 90s Pokemon with their promotional cards. They did drawing contests, they did send-in contests, they did tournament cards, all sorts of different things. And nobody's really done that for music. So that's it. I remember you're telling me on the phone the other day just the potential ways to integrate this with actual in-person concerts and things of that
Right.
nature.
Yeah, I mean, I learned a lot, you know, not to digress here, but you know, I have a Aoki community in the Web3 space, and the way we're able to reward people that join the AO Keepers community was by doing in real, you know, like in real event kind of rewards. So like, you know, if you get to a certain level, you can come to shows you can come to like a certain amount of shows. And if you get to a certain level, you can make a song with me. So yeah, actually I'm on Hero Quest 2. There's two songs I made with two members of AO Keepers community.
Really?
So yeah, yeah, and
How-
it's and I became friends with them. They came to my studio, they come to my house, they come to my shows. We're like, you know, like and we're like, you know, we're like friends. We're really good friends now, you know, like and went from fans to friends and to collaborators. So I think in that same tone, that's exactly what I want to do with Hero Quest. And since we have a digital component, not just physical cards, which like for me, physical cards are everything. Uh, but the digital card community is actually quite large and it's really exciting because I'm also an NFT guy too. So kind of makes sense to do that anyways. And to be able to do these fun activations and fun kind of Easter eggs and scavenger hunts around the world where I'm playing at Tomorrowland and you have to find a cosplay you know player that a cosplay person that's dressed in a certain faction that's standing in the crowd. He has 50 physical cards that are the Tomorrowland promo cards. And then on the screen, there could be a QR code floating, you know, behind me. And if you snag that, you can maybe get something digital. So I like to be able to bring both in and, you know, just like you're saying with the Pokemon promo cards, what I love about Pokemon is like, you know, they're like incentivizing people that are like, well, if you get all 10 promo cards, you get this other card. You know, I love that, the gamification of that and like
Yeah.
bringing fun in the journey of that. So, you know, we have like a pretty like we've already have a pretty robust roadmap of all the different events, the different things I'm doing around the world. And and the good thing about the digital cards is like it's a lot it's very easy to trade. You know, it's
Really.
very I mean obviously you can see it's easy to trade on the physical side too. But you know, it's like
Definitely
I
think
saw,
so.
yeah,
Yeah, it's really, I do think the future uh, will require everything to be both. Um,
yeah, yeah. I think that's why I love working with Colex because they like when they like for their other cards they've done like they did the hero cards with DC. Every card is a unique card, and on the back of the card, so on the back of the Hero Quest card is a QR code, and then you could scan that and it goes into your leaderboard. It goes into your wallet, you know, on the in the Hero Quest universe, the digital universe. So you have your physical card, and then you also have a way to flex and share and trade and buy and sell on the digital side too. So I think I'm surprised that the bigger IPs haven't integrated that in, you know, I'm surprised Pokemon hasn't done that, or Yu-Gi-Oh or Magic hasn't done that, you know.
Yeah.
But I think that's something that really excited me, really, when I was figuring out what I was going to do with the Hero Quest trading card set and partnering up with which partner, I was like that's awesome for me. That's like something I really want to do. And then plus Cardamuni's doing all the printing and handling all that stuff. So it's like we have like a great printer and manufacturer for Hero Quest.
It's so exciting, man. So the Hero Quest 2 Collector's Edition, which I ordered, tell me what I got and what anybody else can order if it's still available.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. So it ends if you're putting this up today. I'm really happy we're able to do this. It ends today, 11:30, November 30th,
Okay.
my birthday, at
Yeah,
11:30 p.m. And the box run is 11:30. So,
got it.
so
Very,
I'm
very
happy that we're able to, yeah, I'm happy that we're able to put that together. You get this book here. You get
nice.
this is like the first kind of sample. So, it's like 260 pages that me and Jim Kruger wrote. This like
Looks
graphic
great.
novel. Get the story of Hero, his quest, and then eventually this is Hero, and then like this antagonist appears, Hyro. So it's like
Love it. Let's go.
yeah, so you get this book. Like, the art's pretty sick.
Yeah, it does look sick. Looks
Yeah.
clean.
Um, and you get the book, but I think what everyone wants is the cards because there are the chases. There's to be four cards that will be included in each box. It's a 12 card set, and there are one of ones of Hero and Hyro only. So the only one of ones you could pull are Hero and Hyro, and then there's limited like super short print serialized cards of the other characters, and it's 12 cards because it's Hero and Hyro and the main characters of each faction that we've introduced so far. So for Hero Quest 1, we introduced five factions. Hero Quest 2, we introduced another five factions. And on the singles of my the single covers uh, from Hero Quest 1 to Hero Quest 2, I've already been introducing the characters as the single covers. So you can like see it, but now you can get the story behind it. In the book, it tells you more about the factions, the characters, and the battles of what Hero needs to do to save the world from this meteorite that's coming down to destroy the planet, and he's got to collect these rings, these pullet rings, um, and these factions. Each faction holds a pullet ring. So it's pretty exciting to share. There's also one extra card in there. It's a redemption card for exclusive merch, but it's a Hero and Hyro alternative art pose. So that'll be another card that you can potentially grade. I think we're definitely making the card really, exciting. The art looks great. The card looks great. That for card collectors, they most likely won't redeem it for merch and probably end up grading it at PSA or wherever they want to grade it at CGC, SGC, whatever back then. So
That's really exciting. Um, Now you're a collector. What's the move here? Is the move to open them or is the move to keep it sealed?
yeah, I've been thinking about that because like MetaZoo, like when I look at like the first sets of anything, I'm just looking at my own IPs. Like when MetaZoo dropped the Kickstarter boxes, they're dropping for $50, and at the height of the MetaZoo Kickstarter run, I mean they were selling for like 11,500, $12,000 a
Really?
box. Yeah,
Wow.
yeah, it's crazy. I mean they're probably settled at like 4 or 5,000 now, but they
Yeah,
started at 50 bucks.
that's
And that
pretty
was
crazy.
2,500 boxes. So like this is the first set of Hero Quest. I'm not saying it's gonna do what Medizu did. Um, I think I think it'll definitely go up for sure. It's only
Not
11.
financial advice.
Yeah, 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 I'm sure. I hope it goes up. You know,
I hope it
just
goes up too.
yeah, yeah. So I hope it does well because it's my IP um and
No, but you make a great point, which is the first of basically anything is usually one of the most historically significant or valuable things to any IP. The first Pokemon box was a couple $100. Now it's a couple 100,000. Clearly, the first
right,
MetaZoo is up there. First, you know, sets of Topps baseball cards are millions of dollars now. It's true, you know, NBA rookie cards, sports rookie cards, game debut jerseys, all that sort of stuff. The first is significant, so that's why
right.
any first is always interesting.
Yeah. So I have no idea. I have no idea. I hope it's $100 a box. I hope it goes up to $110. You know, I just hope it goes up. You know, that's what I hope.
I
If it
love
goes up
it.
more, that's good. But it's like the secondary market will decide if they like the cards. If they, it's like at the end of the day, if they like the cards, they like the story. Um, then this is the start because we're doing after this kind of launch because I really wanted to launch with this book. I really want people to read this book. I mean, there's a CD of my album too, but I think you can obviously listen to the album on Spotify or Apple or whatever. So I think people are going to get it for the cards in the book. But this is selfish. I want people to read the story so they understand,
Yeah,
you know, the world of Hero Quest, and then we're going to drop the
it's
first booster
the
box.
it's the beginning of the next phase of your IP. That's really what it's all
Yeah,
about. And setting the
yeah,
stage
exactly.
for you know whatever is to come in the future. And I love the in-person integrations too. I think it's really exciting. So I'm excited for you. I'm excited for everybody that gets this and follows along. Uh, so I will link all that stuff so people can find it. And Steve, thank you so much for doing this, and
Thanks.
happy
Thanks, Wes.
birthday again.
Thank you, man. Thank you. Appreciate it. Thank you so much. Thank you.
All right. See everybody next time. Peace.